something else that I was thinking about um, is the fact it's interesting to watch who got sober and who didn't. Because I feel like there was definitely like a collective shift, specifically in my generation and around my generation, that we like, there was like half of us were like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Like, we're going to get sober and we're going to get better. And the other half was like, no, I can't. And so I'm just not going to. And I think that's pretty new. I think I don't know if previous generations have really gone through that. And maybe it's because we didn't have social media. But okay, now I'm rambling. So, anyways, okay. So a lot of people with clairaudience will hear songs playing in their mind that means something, or they will hear messages in songs on the radio, etc. So that's important. I think music is a really good way for like clairaudient people to get messages. Sometimes you can like ask your spirit team out loud, and be careful with like your phone and stuff, especially if you have social media, because your phone is always listening to you and collecting data. I know that sounds like conspiracy. No, I like really mean it. Like TikTok is constant. Like if you have that app or Meta or anything, those apps are constantly listening to you and like picking up data. So if you're talking about something out loud, it's going to try to give you an ad about it later, or it's going to try to like give that to you later in your feed because it's like, oh, this person was talking about this. Let's try to sell them something on it. So, just be wary of that. It makes me feel like that always makes it like I just heard in the back of my head, Big Brother is watching. I don't know if you've ever read 1984. It's a really good book. And if you haven't read it, you should. I've been wanting to reread it more lately because I feel like it's a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Relevant lately. That and V for Vendetta. Take that as you will. Anyways, so with clairaudience, yeah, you might hear a song that has a message for you, or maybe you're wondering about something, and then you turn on the radio, and boom, a song answers the question for you. Or you'll hear songs in your brain, or on the radio, and it reminds you of a person, and then later on that person reaches out. A lot of times, for a long time, I woke up with like the radio playing in my head. Like I'd have, and this still happens. And I was talking to my good friend about this the other day. Is that I'll just wake up and I'll hear songs, which is not a bad thing. I like listening to the radio in my head in the morning whenever I wake up, but usually it's because it'll have a message with it. So I was explaining to her, she was like, I keep waking up with these songs in my head and they're just playing on repeat, on repeat. I'm like, well, you should look up the lyrics of that song, because it probably resonates. It probably is what your soul or your higher self is like trying to tell you, which is true. So, anyways, unless it's like an earworm, and like hearing a song on repeat that you haven't listened to in a really long time, those are two different things. Like an earworm is like you heard the song, and once you hear it, okay, now it's replaying. That's different than like you woke up, you haven't heard this song in like 5 years, and and it doesn't even have to be 5 years, but it's just like, why do I keep thinking of this song? It keeps coming up, and then you turn on the radio and it's playing, and it's like, okay, obviously I need to like look at the lyrics of this and see if it resonates, because maybe it has a message. And I have a question. Have you ever had a full conversation with yourself in your mind, like with your inner monologue? Something that I found out is that I found out that some people don't have inner monologues. Do you know how, like, that's just so wild to me? Um, it's just so wild to me that some people don't have inner monologues. Nothing wrong with that. It's just like, oh, so it's just quiet up there. But the thing is, if you have an inner monologue and you're talking to yourself in your mind, and that other part of you that's like talking to you has a really good point, you're probably clairaudient. You're probably talking to your higher self or God or your spirit team or whoever. It's not always the case. But yeah, that's the reality of it. You might also be able to get clear messages in your mind about other people or situations.